Day 3 of the National Democratic Convention is set to kick off in about an hour.
Taking a look inside the United Center right now. Let's check it out. Okay, it is empty and quiet. That was not the case last night. It comes after former President Barack Obama took the stage, his wife as well, Michelle, to support Vice President Kamala Harris.
Anita Blanton joins us live from the United Center. And Anita, what was his message to everyone last night? I'm sure they were really excited to see him back home here.
Absolutely, Natalie and Brian. He talked about the contagious power of hope, something he's talked a lot about over the last 2 decades, if you will. Barack Obama's message to the delegates as well as the Democratic supporters that filled this hall last night, that they need to work together and support strong leaders to bring about, in his words, a secure, just, equal, and free America, a better America, if you will. Let's talk a little bit more about the things that he had to say on stage and the contrast that he was able to draw here. The former president went to the podium just a little after 10 o'clock last night, right after his wife, former First Lady Michelle Obama, took the stage, and there's already a big debate as to whose speech was better. In his words, not mine. He said, "I'm the only person stupid enough to go after Michelle because she had a powerful speech as well." Now, during his speech, he touched on multiple topics, from talking about President Joe Biden passing the torch to Kamala Harris, who has been a friend of President Obama for many years, to also criticizing former President Donald Trump over the decisions that he made while he was in office. Although I'm still waiting for someone to actually go through, and I'm sure someone will, and find out how many times Donald Trump's name was actually said between their speeches. I think that was a very calculated decision on their part. So President Obama closed out the second night of the DNC with this message to everyone.
And I believe that's why if we each do our part over the next 77 days, if we knock on doors, if we make phone calls, if we talk to our friends, if we listen to our neighbors, if we work like we've never worked before, if we hold firm to our convictions, we will elect Kamala Harris as the next President of the United States, and Tim Walz as the next Vice President of the United States. We will elect leaders up and down the ballot who will fight for the hopeful, forward-looking America we all believe in, and together we too will build a country that is more secure and more just, more equal, and more free.
So there it is right there. You could hear the applause that he got at the end of the night. If there's one thing, regardless of which side of the aisle you're on, that you probably don't debate, it's the Obama's oratorical skills there. So he talked about listening and how much that matters, and also for the Democratic Party to work like their lives depend on it. Now, you heard him talk about Tim Walz. He mentioned Tim Walz at the end, and it is a big monumental moment for Tim Walz tonight. So coming up in the 6:30 half hour, I'm going to talk more about Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz. Of course, they were on the campaign trail during those speeches last night, hitting some of the states that are key to seeing if they can actually make it to the White House as a team.